Yes, very. But there are many different FSA groups, right? Like depends on the tribes, or they all work together, or they work in in a region.
We are talking about what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
FSA, Free Syrian, FSA. FSA.
Actually, yes, there are a lot of factions and armies, which is also belong to FSA.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's the situation now. I'll be so clear. Let me say, there is a kind of some, let me say, various factions, and that's a bad thing, in my opinion. Actually, also the countries playing a very important part of this issue, because there was a lot of countries and Arab countries actually trying to make these fighters looking for only their benefit, or let me say the bad situation or the bad economic situation inside Syria pushed the people to searching for or looking for salary. We are talking about 8 years. 8 years now. So this thing makes people tired, makes people bankrupt, makes people facing a lot of difficulties. So these Arab countries try to enter the Syria, or the political solution inside Syria, by giving money to some factions and moving these factions like they want, like the Arab countries want. For example, when we talk about Qatar, in the beginning of the Syrian revolution, Qatar shows that the Qatari people, or the Qatari government, let me say, supporting the Syrian revolution. And in the year 2005, sorry, 2015 and 16, there is another face appeared of Qatar. In my opinion, they harmed the Syrian revolution, because they are now besieged by the other countries around them, in the Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia and other countries. So they went to Iran, or they made a coalition with Iran, or an alliance with Iran. So that's also have an effect on the Syrian issue. So that also was the main reason of the withdrawal of the FSA from several areas inside Syria, like Ghouta, like the South Syria, Dar'a, and other places. The main reason that there was a lot of political money. Let me say, I don't know if this word is true or not, but I saw that also. We don't say that there is no wrong things inside the FSA, but the FSA is the most suitable, let me say, party, and the people who defending the Syrian people. There's wrong things. They've made wrong things, but it's a wrong things, not a crime. That's the difference between the other parties.
FSA は地域によってやっぱりいろいろなグループ が立ち上がっていて、ちょっとこう一体になってなかったのもあって、それがちょっととか、例えばダーラ市だとかイドリブ市だとかそういうところで違うFSS 自由軍がいたんですね。でそれでカタールがシリア革命を支援していたんですけど、やっぱり戦争が長引くとやっぱりお金もなくなってくるし、みんなI forgot Japanese word やっぱり金銭的に苦しくなるので、それでちょっとお金を出して自分たちの好きなようにその自由軍を動かしたりとか、そういうことが始まってきていて、だからもちろん自由軍が全ていいことをしているのではとは言い切れないけれども、でも、アサド政権とかロシアのような犯罪で虐殺してきたり、無実の人を虐殺してきたりと、そういうことはないということです。Yes. So before I started supporting Syrians, I read a book because I wanted to know about Syria. The book was written by a Japanese journalist, freelance, and he went into Syria from Turkey, and he stayed with Mujahideen for 3 months or so. So he went to a war zone and he was helping, delivering foods to them. So he documented and then he wrote a book about it. But no media wanted to write about what he was saying. So he was on a TV program once, and I happened to watch it. That's why I bought his book. But so he was telling what you're saying right now. But he never got a job from the media, so he had to publish a book, and also he was working as a truck driver to save money to go back to Syria or other war zones. So
that's a very important issue I'll talk about now.
Yes, so that's
specifically the work and.
So he's a journalist, but he can't get a job because he couldn't sell his article that was talking about the truth. So that's the sad thing. And I still follow him on Twitter, but he's always, not depressed, but he's very, very discouraged to see what's going on in Syria because he made many friends in FSA, and he knows what was going on. So it's
about this issue, specifically about this issue, I want to thank you first of all for clarifying this difficulties which is facing the journalists. I can say it also clearly that there is a lot of difficulties and hard circumstances which is facing journalists and activists, like the things which you said before about this Japanese journalist. Also, there is a large number of Syrian journalists which is whom without work now. They cannot even look for their families because they are not working. Actually, they don't get a lot of money, and the people whom appearing on the TVs, and that's also unfortunately did not show the whole reality or the situation now inside Syria, because actually most of them did not live inside Syria, and there's another number of them did not care a lot about Syrian people. They are only caring for their salaries, especially when you talk some of the opposition political parties or politicians whom appearing daily, almost daily on the TVs, on the channels, but they are talking only about small things, small issues, and forgetting the biggest or the bigger crimes or the horrible crimes which is committed by Assad's regime and other parties. I'll be so clear. I'll talk about names. For example, when we talk about the opposition parties or politicians, which is who said that we are belonging to Syrian revolution, like Yahya al-Aridi, for example. Yahya al-Aridi is a doctor in English language or a translator. Was the translator of half of al-Assad previously, and he said that he is belonging to the opposition, but actually the same person signed on the order of chasing me by Assad regime in Damascus University in the year 2012, and I saw his name and his signature on the paper, which is also the Assad security and militants put it inside the Damascus University, the place where I was studying in. So I was so surprised when I saw him on the TVs, on the channels, talking about the Syrian revolution, and I know him and I know what did he, what's his situation or what's his truly or true belonging previously. So there's a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of people like Yahya al-Aridi are now taking positions inside the opposition parties and appearing every day on channels, on televisions, talking about the Syrian revolution. But on the other hand, also there is a large number of activists and journalists, Syrian journalists, who are working now and covering the events inside the liberated areas, which is also targeted by Assad regime and Russian and Iranians, and also documenting these violations, but nobody knows them. And that's also a very important issue.
Well, I was before we started, I was trying to find what news Japan was trying to report, and most of the news articles were about Iranian, like a threat from Iran to Syria. I mean, they don't really talk about the conflict in Syria or that what Syrians are suffering. What there are some articles that talk about how many people died since the beginning of this year, but it's not the main news. I mean, the main like MSM, mainstream media. So people don't really know what is going on. So now they're thinking that Iran and America are doing something in Syria. That's how they report. So the media always distract us to something else from the main reasons. So yeah, and then yes, and then also what you're talking about the people who are taking advantage of the situation and making money and stuff. So yes, but I think I have learned who to trust.
We should find. Sorry for interrupting. We should search for people or looking for people who really supporting the Syrian revolution. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who appears and saying that we are belonging to Syrian revolution, but actually they are an agent for Assad regime. That's another problem, which is caused this long period of time, and unfortunately also I'm expecting that there's another years also we will wait for a long time until the victory of against Assad regime. So we was talking about the journalists and activists, and also I saw some question or a question of Mr. Hisham Abu Ibrahim. The question is why Russia is still bombing there in Idlib. They destroyed everything there. Myself, I lost two. I'm so sorry about them. الله يتقبلهم. الأخ هشام يتقبل الشهداء جميعا. I'll answer this question because Russia have two main aims. The first aim is establishing or still there in the area in the Middle East and put another bases, military bases, and one of the biggest bases is Hmeimim base, the Russian base. That's the first reason, and the other reason that they are criminals and they are targeting. Let me say clearly, they are targeting Muslim people, and that's true. That was so clear in Bosnia and Herzegovina previously. I think that people around the world saw the crimes, the Russian crimes against Muslims in Bosnia and Herzegovina and Chechen and other areas, and most of these countries was from the Muslims. So that's the second aim of Russia. I can say that despite all of these pressures and targeting of the Syrian people, civilians, we will get our freedom at the final, at the end, and I'm sure about that. There is a million of Syrians now around the world and inside Syria are looking for down or making this dictatorial government go out of the country and find some place else.
Yes.今ロシアがなぜイドリブにいるかという話だったんですけど、やっぱりイドリブオイルとかやっぱりそういう権利とかと中東に軍基地を置くことが、目的なのでいるんじゃないかということです。で、yes. And then what else? That. Well, I don't really want to talk about Japan, but Japan is facing also threat from the other countries too. So the Japanese are aware of it. So and then I am pretty sure every country has the same situation. So
yes,
yes. And then I always talk about this with my friends on Facebook too. But the enemy within, and always enemy is within. So then who walks with somebody else who wants to come in? So it's if everybody notices that point, then we can all stand up together with Syrians. To support Syrians, and we are facing the same thing, but
the same danger.
Same. That's in Russia has occupied four islands in Japan too, so it's they're still there.
Facing the same enemy.
Same thing, yes. So we don't like US. We don't like Russia, well, not just the government, of course, and I'm not talking about people, but we don't like both governments, but we have to.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Miss Mary.
No, that's okay.
I'm so sorry for interrupting, but there's a very important issue also about Japan and Russia. When we talk about the situation in Japan or, for example, South Korea, they are an alliance against Russia. Am I right?
No, what do you say? One more time?
When we talk about these areas and Japan and Russia and the East Asia, also which party supporting North Korea, for example, and having the nuclear weapons and also the effective weapons and supporting them by weapons. The Russians supporting the North Korean
North
government.
Korea, yes.
Am I right?
Right.
Also,
yes.
The situation is not so different about what happened now in the Middle East.
Yes.
Russia trying to destroy everything, trying to have very huge weapons and also trying to put bases, military bases around the world. They don't care about people. They don't care about displacement. They don't care about the human beings. They don't care about any moral or humanitarian thing. They care only about the improvement of the military abilities of Russia.
Right. Yes. And in China. In China and Russia. Yes, we feel this. I mean, we face the threat from those countries, and then also U.S. But U.S. is not, they have military bases all over Japan, but I can't say. Maybe we can talk about this later. But we feel more threat from. We feel more threat from Russia and in China. So it's yes, exactly. We are in the same place as you are. Yes, Syria. Yes, and then Syrians stood up. Yes.
So I hope God will protect us all, the Japanese people and the Syrian people, I hope that our God, protect us, and I hope that God will support us to defeat this huge and ugly military or army, the Russian army, because when we find out, when we talk or search for any problem around the world, we will find that the Russians are a part of this problem or a part of this issue. In Syria, unfortunately, now we are not talking only about Russians. There's a lot of terrorist organizations, as I was talking before, or as I said before.
Right.
The Assad regime also, there's an information, maybe not all the people around the world know it, that Assad regime is a tool for the Russians, a tool for the every large or big countries around Syria, and he is only doing what they said, and he don't care about the civilians inside Syria.
Right.
And when we talk about a regime like this regime, do not care about the civilians and improving their lives, we are talking about a dictator, and there is no place in Syria for the dictators.
Yes, it's but civilians are always victims. We don't have a choice to say no to the war. They just start, and then civilians become victims all the time.
Of course.
Yes.